And some more bad news for the LA Dodgers. Roki Sasaki, their young stud coming over from Japan, on the injured list with right shoulder impingement.
We became aware of this after his last start in Arizona, and from what we gather is he's felt some discomfort for the last few weeks, but given where we're at as a pitching staff, he wanted to continue to go and persevere and fight through everything until he felt that his performance is going to be compromised. We got some scans yesterday, and it showed an impingement in the shoulder. And so with that information, as benign as it is, unfortunately, where he's at, we felt, as we've done with most of our pitchers, potentially all of our pitchers, is err on the side of caution. And so that's why we felt to put him on the IL, let this thing calm down.
You heard the voice of Dave Roberts right there. And look, it was Blake Harris yesterday on X that tweeted out, and the way I found out was because I'm in an exclusive chat with the Loud Outs group. You're not in this, Steve. I am. I'm in the Loud Outs group. I feel a little
left out, by the way. Don't get that why I'm not in on it. And you should.
You should. You should feel left out.
They might look at me as the chaperone in that group, right? The older, sort of parent that's sort of monitoring everybody's behavior and language and stuff like that. And I might want to wash people's mouth out with soap.
No. You're just not worthy right now, and it's okay. It's okay to be not worthy of being in that group. But I'll tell you this:
I've got a worthy sign behind me on my bookcase.
Doc Roberts talked about, and you've got jokes, I love it. Doc Roberts talked about, let's err on the side of caution. Well, they've erred on the side of caution when it comes to Glass now. Think about Gratterall, Grove, Henriquez, Hurt, Kershaw, who's coming off now on Saturday and is pitching Saturday and starting Saturday, Kopech, Ohtani, I have to include him in it, Phillips, Ryan, Sasaki, Sheehan, Snell, Stone, Trinan. There's a lot of pitchers on that IL. And Ron Porterfield has it. Ron Porterfield has his hands full when it comes to the rehab room. I mean, you have to schedule it from early morning to late when it comes to training and making sure these guys can get back on the field, if it's after surgery or if it's just to try to get them back 15 days later. It's a long group that LA has right now, and they have to deal with a lot of injuries. And if Doc Roberts were to win the World Series, and I know they have a lot of Hall of Famers in that lineup, you need pitching. Clayton Kershaw is going to have to play big, but most importantly, Doc Roberts is going to have to cut and paste pretty much like he did last year when they won the World Series.
Yeah, the training room's like a deli. They come in and they take a number, and then they have to wait to get called before they can get any treatment going on there. But it is a crowded place for sure in Los Angeles. All right.
Roki Sasaki to the injured list with right shoulder impingement. JP Fireeisen returns to the team. Did not have himself a very good return tonight. 3 earned runs over his 2-3 innings. You add to the pile of injuries here. Look at how many pitchers are on the injured list. I can't count that high. I'm not some sort of mathematician.
Mathematician. I tell you what, half of these names I forgot about, to be honest with you. But what is concerning is what we discussed yesterday on Dodgers territory on our normal slot, that Blake Snell is going to went to go see ELATROSH. Glasnow is going to see ELATROSH just as a precaution, I guess, to see as he continues to progress and gets back. But now you have Roki Sasaki on the IL. I'm just hoping Yamamoto put him in bubble wrap. I mean, I know the good news is that we get Kershaw back, right? And he actually was moved up from a start on Sunday. He is now starting on Saturday, which, good. I'm glad to see Kersh back, but it's like, I am a little bit. I was concerned last year about the starting pitching situation, right?
It's funny you mentioned that because our friend Matt Moreno from Dodger Blue pointing that out. Look at all the names that are suddenly missing from this Dodgers. Just the guys they had on opening day, not even 2 full months ago. At this point, it's concerning, and this is where you're seeing somebody like Landon Knack pressed into a starting role where you knew the kid was going to pick up some innings along the way this year. You were hoping he wasn't going to need to start, a good chunk of games in a row in May, but that's where the Dodgers find themselves right now. And then you add Sasaki to the injured list. We're still awaiting word on how Blake Snell's visit to Dr. Neil Elitrash went today. Dave was or yesterday, I guess, but Dave was a little ambiguous in how he was speaking. PR was so prepared. They handed him a checklist. Like, these are the things you are allowed to say about what's going on with the injured list right now. All of the names. It's a mash unit. You got all of these injuries, and we're talking just before going live here. You could get somebody who just sleeps a little wrong, or sprains a fingernail, and you're going to the IL just to be safe. So you hope it's nothing major, but in regards to Sasaki, you have seen the velocity dip over the last,
right? He's 23, right? He's young, but he averaged 94.8 miles on his fastball in his last start, Clint, against Arizona on May 9th. That was 5 days ago, right? So that's down more than 1 mile an hour from his season average already. He allowed 5 hits, 5 runs, and 4 innings, didn't record a strikeout for the first time in his brief major league career. He's 1-1 on the year. His ERA is not great. Apparently he felt soreness in his arm before the game. He did not throw his scheduled bullpen session, today, before officially being placed on the IL. There's a lot of big names. There's a lot of big arms on the Dodgers injured list. A lot of people, as Frank is joining the chat, said bad lineup tonight. Some folks think that, it was already an L when they rolled the lineup out there. I don't believe that ever. This was a crappy game. It was a bad clunker of a game. I just hope that, we don't lose Sasaki now for an extended period of time. Court the Crusader says these pitchers' injuries are concerning. They seem like mechanical issues, something that can be fixed with proper biomechanics. Come on, medical. This is not a medical staff issue, guys. This is, the Dodgers have the best of the best in every single thing. You can't blame the medical staff on this. Maybe it's a little bit more cautious. Maybe it's like you said, they sneezed wrong and they're just being careful. But
we know this. The whole purpose of the Los Angeles Dodgers is to get to October. They're built to play in October, and they went and signed up everybody this past offseason. By everybody, just really adding Sasaki, adding all of the relievers, and of course adding Blake Snell, with the eye on having a very, very strong pitching staff for the month of October. This is where you have all the other little knickknacks, if you will, pieces to fill in along the way, Knack being one of those guys. But we're going to pause here for a second. We're going to talk, we're going to hear a quick word from our friends at Foul Territory, then we'll be back and we'll talk more about the Dodgers, take some more comments, hang out for a little while longer. Not a great game tonight, guys, so let's be positive, let's be happy, and let's hear the boys.
What either updates do you have, or what are you expecting in this IL still?
I think everything that we know is there's an impingement in his shoulder that is similar to what he had last year. We became aware of this after his last start in Arizona, and from what we gather is he's felt some discomfort for the last few weeks, but given where we're at as a pitching staff, he wanted to continue to go and persevere and fight through everything until he felt that his performance is going to be compromised. And so that's when he let us know where he was at physically. And at that point in time, we wanted to make sure that he was taken care of physically. So we got some scans yesterday, and it showed an impingement in the shoulder. And so with that information, as benign as it is, unfortunately, where he's at, we felt, as we've done with most of our pitchers, potentially all of our pitchers, is err on the side of caution. And so that's why we felt to put him on the IL, let this thing calm down, and build him back to where he is, and he can be 100%, and then get him back out there.
We've of course seen Landon step up and help out with the rotation. What does this mean just moving forward, whether for him or additional arms and support you might need in rotation with Roki being on the IL?
I think it's just going to give Landon some runway. And, I thought there were some strikeouts in there, but in the middle innings, he started getting behind. The pitch count started to get up and made some mistakes.
Sasaki, he still kind of has like a kid's body, right? Or he's, on the slender side. Are there like any things you guys have maybe identified that he could do that could maybe help him prevent it?
It's interesting is, personally for me, just seeing him a couple years ago in the WBC, he looked a little bit more physical, and I don't know, but I don't know exactly the physicality of the weight, but I do know that, getting him offline right now, getting him back, getting him stronger, getting a foundation, obviously mainly letting his shoulder calm down, so we're not affecting anything going forward. That's kind of the goal. And then if we can do that, then continue to work on the mechanics, because obviously knowing what we know now, there was certainly some compensation from him, and his delivery was probably compromised. And all of that is because he wanted to compete and help us out. And so there's very few players that are 100% in a major league season. But again, once we got this information, although we appreciate him trying to fight through it, which is great, but we wanted to get some scans to know what we're dealing with. And then what we decided, and talking to Roki as well, is let's put him on the IL and let's get his strength back, let's get his health back, and then go from there. I don't have a timeline at all.
Does this give him a chance to maybe start over in a sense and get through some of the mechanical things, the overall things that probably with more time you guys would have wanted to sort of do with him?
I think so. And obviously, we didn't know what to expect this year, but to think that he was going to go wire to wire, given his track record and history of innings, probably unrealistic. So this could be that little bit of reprieve in the middle of the season that we can get him back to being healthy, feeling strong at 100%, and, help us get, through the World Series.
Who's going to start on Thursday?
We don't know yet. It's probably, I think right now it's safe to say it's going to be a bullpen game.
You say you have no timeline yet, but the Kopech is also like a similar injury with a 60 days IL. You think it's going to be a little bit similar to him, or maybe see if he can come back sooner?
You know what? I don't know exactly, and I don't want to speculate him versus Kopech. We made it very clear to Roki that there's no expectation on timeline. The main thing is that he's healthy, he's strong, his delivery feels good, then he'll pitch for us. So I don't think that any expectation is fair to him.
Dave, as admirable as it is that he wanted to plow on, did you communicate to him, like, geez, you didn't have to do that. You should have said something to us.
We did, but I think that there's just not a player in the big leagues that probably would do the same thing, and they feel that they can kind of persevere and, as you said, plow on, and appreciating what we're going through as a staff. He wants to contribute, and I respect that. And he's a great teammate. But we're very grateful that with the scans that we took, that it is similar to what he's already been through before, so it's something familiar to him. And so we just feel that with some rest, getting the strength back, getting back to his normal delivery, that he's going to be just fine.
In that immediate timeline, is there a period of where he kind of has to rest, not throw, or
yes,
kind of where he's at?
Absolutely. If we're going to put him on the IL to make sure that the impingement calms down, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I don't know how long he's not going to pick up a baseball, but there is going to be a point where, yeah, there's no throwing, certainly.
I know there's some other variables involved, namely what other pitchers you have available, but do you think if let's say guys start coming back and that's when he comes back, could he benefit from time in the minor leagues, you think, or is that?
I don't think so. I think that our goal is to get him healthy, get him strong, make sure his delivery is sound, and get a pitch for us. And so now, with the information that we've learned, he's not as, he hasn't been as, as productive as he would have liked because he was compromised. And so that's kind of enlightening to all of us.
Did you get any new information on Blake Snell from this afternoon?
No, I did not. I did not.
Aaron, like Michael Porto, 3 doubles today. What have you seen from him in the last few games? I mean, he seems to be hitting the ball a lot better.
I think the swing's getting a lot better. I think he's getting started a little bit earlier. Certainly caught 3 barrels tonight, and I'm just impressed that he just kind of kept his head down and, going through this this thing that he was going through for the first 5 weeks of the season. But I think he's really starting to get some confidence now.
They're coming back from that long road trip. A's much improved team. What were your overall thoughts on how things turned out tonight?
Not good. I thought this was, as far as collectively, this is, as forgettable as an outing, a compilation of team offense as we've seen in quite some time. Outside of Will and Michael, there wasn't much else. So we'll respond tomorrow. We got Yamamoto going tomorrow. We've got all of the guys in the pen ready to go. So today was one I just want to turn the page on. Thanks, guys.